In this presentation, we'll talk about how we convert video files to a post and how that can fit into our business model. In a prior presentation, we talked about how we can use videos that we can upload to YouTube to help support what we're currently doing, our current job, as well as to help drive traffic to a website where we can have a business model for our business there as well, which could include consulting and whatnot on the website. And then once we have enough YouTube videos, we may then branch out and say, hey, we could make a course on it or something like that and use Udemy and then use our website to drive traffic there. Or we may want a podcast, and these are other types of resources we can use. Now, the other thing we might want to say is, hey, I've already got a video file. We talked about how we can convert that video file or use that video file for courses. We talked about how we might convert it to an audio file for a podcast if it was useful to do that with that one YouTube video. What if we now think about that YouTube video and converting it to basically just a post? I've got a video, I don't have the text now. So now we've got video, not a text. We converted the video file to an MP3, an audio file for a podcast. Can we take that same video file and convert it in essence to text where we can make a WordPress post? Now, the WordPress posts are unlikely to make you a whole lot of money in a WordPress post unless they're good enough to drive you traffic to your WordPress site and then advertise on the site. But they are something that could drive traffic. They could be something that's going to be useful on the site. They could also be another resource if you convert the video to a text that you could give to people as well. So you could be giving that in your courses or in some other fashion. So it's a good supplement that you can then use. So you can post it to WordPress. You can make a text file that you can then post to something like a Facebook or any other kind of blog and just have the activity of the blog. So again, none of these things in and of themselves are probably going to be your full income, but all together, they can start to basically drive traffic, and posting constant posts on a website could start to drive traffic and build up traffic that would be more organic traffic to the website. And that hopefully can drive traffic to you, whatever your business is, consulting or to the courses. So then how could we do this easily if we wanted to try this out? One way, there's software out there that can convert, and it's getting pretty good now that you can convert the text file or the video file to a text file. And if you've worked with some kind of software that you can speak into it and it starts to read it out, that's going to be the same kind of thing. You can do that with free types of software, and I think the easiest one that's free is going to be Google Docs. You can actually record your voice or your recording into basically Google Docs, and it'll type that out. But it's not perfect yet. I think this tool works pretty good. You have to pay for it. It has a subscription. I think you get a month free, so you can try it out. There's other softwares like this that work like this, but this is Otter, so Otter.ai, and you could check that website out. And I've used it, and it works pretty well. I don't do a lot of blogs and posting, but again, this is something that often works well for many people. So there's another option that you can do. Again, just with the video file, you've already done the video file. You know, what kind of content can you get from it that could help you to drive traffic? Well, so what we're going to do is just upload our file here. So the file then that we had, you'll recall we downloaded this file now, and then we converted it to an MP3. But you don't have to do that. We can actually upload the entire MP4 file, which I think more people are likely to have, and it'll still be able to convert it to a text. So let's pull this over here, and then let's take a look at the other side being... So I'm just going to import an audio or video. So I'm just going to say import. Then I'm going to drag and drop the video file. So we'll just drag and drop the video file here. So here it is, it's loading up for us. So it takes a little bit of time to load up. And if you do multiple files, if you're trying to do this for a whole bunch of files, it'll take a little bit of time. It gives you a warning too that it'll tell you, when it's done. So here it is, here's the notification. It's like, do you want to notify me? And I always say no, because if I do, then I'm doing something else and it pops up when I'm doing something else. And if I'm doing, a screencast, then it's not good that it pops up. So I don't usually use it, but it might be useful to you to turn that on. So now we're going to go down to my conversions, and then the ones that haven't been done yet are going to be bolded. The ones you've looked at will not be. You can also set up folders and put them into a folder to help group these. So they got some nice sorting options for these so you can organize them. Then I'll typically go into the item here, and you can see it has converted it to a text file. I'm going to then close up this hamburger so we can work with it. So here we have the title, we've got the text down below. You can actually read this. If you play it, it'll actually play it and read it back to you. So you can go through here, and the best thing to do is to go through. It's pretty good, it works pretty well, but of course it's still gonna have some errors in it. So you wanna go through and you could edit it. So you can edit the text up top. It also gives you some summary keywords, which is really nice for a blog post, because these are the things that you can put in as the keyword or the tags that can help you to drive the traffic to it. So once you're done with this, then you can go to these three little dots up top, and you can move it. You can export as a text. You can export the audio, which is nice. So you can use this software if you had just a text file that you typed up and you put it in here, then you can convert it to basically an audio file. But you can rematch the speaker. We're looking for the text file, so we would then be exporting the text file, and then you have your options on the exporting of the text file. Now, before I export it, I usually do a few different things here just to adjust this. So I'm going to edit this, and obviously we should probably read through the whole thing, but sometimes you don't have the time to read through the whole thing. What I like to do is have the timestamps on there, because once I export it, I might put a picture in there from the actual video file. So I could put a picture from the video file, and if I leave some space, then it's going to break up the text a little bit, and it also gives me a timestamp. So that allows me to then go right to that place in the video where that timestamp is and put a picture like right above it. So I export this to a Word file, and then I've got these timestamps, and I can go in there and I can put a picture, close to the timestamp. So I'll go in here and I'll just say, all right, let's just put a few spaces in here so that we can have our timestamps. It's not some big brick of text, and I'm not going to go over it in a lot of depth, so we'll break this out a bit like so. How about right there? That looks good. We'll break that out right there. Scrolling down. We're going to break this out right there. Sometimes it makes a good break here, and sometimes it doesn't, so I don't really trust the break that they make, because I think it's based more on kind of the sound of your voice, and it's not always a good break. Sometimes it's like in the middle of the sentence. So I just go through here and do some adjustments on it. So we'll pick that one up here, and let's do one or two more, and we should be at the end. That's good. Okay, so then let's export it. So I'm going to go back up top, hit the little three dots up here, and I'm going to say I want to export as a text file. We then have our options. We have the include speaker name, speakers' names. Now this, I don't think I really need the speakers' names on there. You could put it on there, but I don't think it's necessary. Include timestamps. I really do want the timestamps, because that'll allow me to pick up the images from the video file and pull them over. Merge same speaker segments. I don't really need that, because I took, it's all the same. It should be the same speaker. Export as monologue. So I'm going to keep that as is, and remove Otter branding. So I'll remove the branding. Why not? So there we have it, and you can see it down here. That looks good. Let's go ahead, and this is as a text file. You can have a text file. What I want is a doc file. So this would be a Word document file. All right, now let's redo our settings here. Word doc file, include a speaker name, include timestamps, include highlights. That's good. Include photos. There are none, but that's good. Okay, that makes sense. So then we're going to say continue, and we'll open up our text file. So there it is. And now we've got a Word document. So let's open up our Word document. And there it is. So it gives us our title. It's formatted nicely. We've got the date. We got the keywords that we can put into our blog post if we so choose to increase the search, hopefully. The speakers, and then we've got the information. And notice we got these timestamps here. So this is pretty good right here. We can post up a blog if we want to using this. and we can then add to it if we so choose. And we can add to it, like I say, by going back to that video file, taking a look at the timestamps, and then taking a screenshot, of the timestamps, so we can add a text where those items are. So that's what we'll do next time. We'll go ahead and we'll go through this, and we'll add some images based on the timestamp, and then maybe upload it to WordPress just to see what that process might look like.